Hi everyone, Drini here, and welcome to my channel. So we're going to take a look at Cryowar today, or the CWAR token, because if you've been paying attention to its price action over the past couple of days, you would know that it's currently going on a major rampage. So let's dive into the charts just to see what we're talking about. So what I have here is I have the Cryowar price action on a daily time frame ever since its inception from November of 2021 until now. After the high right here of $4.80, unfortunately ever since, it has gone on a massive capitulation to the downside. Now, if you've been watching my previous videos, you would know that Cryowar is actually one of my gaming crypto focus areas for this upcoming bull run. And right now, so far, it's been paying off. So I haven't been talking about Cryowar lately because I was waiting for this particular moment right here, where the price action will finally breach through the 55 EMA right here. Over the past 4 days, we have actually been rejected multiple times in that level. So you have this candle, even in this candle, and even this candle today actually went below the 55 EMA before eventually breaking through, and it appears that we are really holding this level moving forward. So you may have a couple of questions here. The first one is, what may happen in the short term? And the second one is, what is my general outlook for the price action of Cryowar over the long term? So the second one is much easier to answer because what we can do, of course, is this is the all-time high right here and this low of around 17 cents. If we draw a Fibonacci extension where this is the high and this is the low right here, the 1618 extension. So the 1618 extension is currently at around $37 right here. So whenever we would have price targets to the upside, a lot of people have this misconception that this is Hopium 1 and also that the price targets may be too unrealistic, etc., etc. Let me take this opportunity to clarify. The thing about price predictions is technical analysis is not supposed to give you price predictions in the first place. So whenever a YouTuber would tell you that Cryowar is going to $5,000 million, that is usually just based on gut feel. What we're doing here is our price targets, because we always use the 1618 extension, it allows us to have a consistent, structured framework for identifying eventual long-term targets at the peak of the cycle. I think this is very important for us to note. The second one, of course, is just because we overlay the Fibonacci, it doesn't mean that it's going to be true. There are a lot of factors that have to come into play. Cryowar has to be popular, adoption has to be high, the game has to be good, etc., etc. And the markets, of course, have to be very healthy in order for us to realistically have this price point. It also doesn't mean that we're just going to blast right here overnight. But of course, this is crypto. Anything can happen, right? So the best way to really think about this 1618 extension is this is our target should Cryowar moon. If Cryowar moons because of certain successes along the way, this is the level which I will be taking profits over the long term. But it doesn't mean, of course, that this is the only price level where you take profits. Of course, if we identify that, okay, we may be slowing down right here, also given RSI levels, there are certain levels around this particular structure where we would take profits along the way. This particular price target of $37 is not even Axie's market cap at the moment. So for example, if I take Cryowar and if the Cryowar market cap is similar to Axie Infinity's market cap, it's actually $63 right here. This $37 is actually a fairly conservative estimate, assuming, of course, that the rest of the crypto markets will multiply 10x from here when it comes to total crypto market cap. So now that we have the long-term target where we can aim for, assuming, of course, Cryowar does well, what are we going to do over the short term? So what you have here is the struggle over the 55 EMA is not just the struggle for the 55. The reason why we have been rejected 3 times in a row right here is also because this is the 236 level of the Fibonacci structure. So there is a lot of selling pressure right here, but at the moment what's happened was we broke through both the 55 EMA and the 236 right here. Now, unfortunately, what's happening here is from an RSI perspective, we are getting very, very oversold. So a short-term price scenario that could potentially happen right here is we may experience some correction. You may have a situation where the most bullish case, for example, is we literally just grab right here, wait for this 21 EMA and the 55 EMA to eventually cross like this before our eventual continuation to the upside. That is the most bullish case. The bearish case, of course, is we break through this 236 right here. And if we do that, then this is a good buying opportunity once the RSI corrects right here aim for the 21 EMA for your potential entry point for Cryowar before continuation to the upside. How we'll potentially get to the 37 right here is also via an Elliott wave structure. So right now we're just on our way to our wave 1. So it remains to be seen over the coming days or weeks where will Cryowar end, because what can potentially happen is if we have a weak wave 1 right here, for example, where we only reach the 382, then our subsequent correction of wave 2 may be lower right here. Our wave 3 may not be as high as we would like it to be. So this 1618, for example, we may fall short depending on the strength of this particular wave 1. Or a potential thing that may happen is you have a wave 1, wave 2, you have a weak wave 3 right here, a wave 4 before an eventual destination back to our all-time highs. Then you have a subsequent short ABC correction before another structure to the upside that eventually leads to the 1618. So after this ABC correction, for example, a potential other scenario would be, of course, now you have a new wave 1 which goes back to the high. You have a wave 2 right here. The wave 3 would be the 1.414. The wave 4 could be at the 1.72 before we eventually reach our destination to $37 right here. So this is what I mean by this 37 will not happen overnight. You will have waves upon waves of price action before we eventually get to this destination. So it will take a while to get there. So just relax and enjoy the ride. So full transparency, I do own Cryowar. My current average price was around 29 cents. So it's around here. So what I'll do moving forward is I will sort of guide you through what's going on through my mind now that I am currently in profit. So right now, for example, I am 44% up, or if we go by the recent price action, I am 37% up. It's one thing just to say that Cryowar is going to moon, but it's another thing to really clearly demonstrate how do you utilize profits to get into something else. What do you do with those profits? Do I just lock them up? Do I put it in another crypto, etc., so that hopefully it gives some inspiration as to how do you map out your portfolio so that you have a consistent return that is not just based on very linear, I take profit, I cash it out, I take profit, I cash it out. There are ways to really funnel them into other gaming cryptos or other projects to compound your earnings by putting profits in a relatively safer investment, for example, in the crypto space, while keeping some of the portfolio for Cryowar intact if Cryowar really just blasts off into space.